How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Talk Speak English, the channel that helps you speak English with confidence. In today's video, I'm going to look at a C1 monologue on the topic of technology and social interaction. Without further ado, let's get to it. Here is the monologue that I'm going to focus on. Talk about the influence of new technologies on social relationships nowadays. Explain how the former have affected the latter both positively and negatively. Provide arguments to support your opinion. Just a quick disclaimer that this is purely how I would approach the monologue. There is by no means a perfect way to approach a monologue, as each one you do is going to be different. Hopefully I can just give you an idea on some vocabulary to use, grammatical structures to include, and a rough outline of what a monologue is supposed to look like. I hope you enjoy. It is clear that new technologies such as the internet, smartphones and social media have drastically changed how we socialise with each other. In this monologue, I'm going to discuss what I believe to be the positive and negative effects of these new technologies on our social relationships. Firstly, no one can deny that one of the main ways new technology has affected social interaction positively is connectivity. I can say without hesitation that smartphones coupled with the internet means that we are more connected than ever before. Not only can we talk with anyone at any time, but also in a variety of different ways, with apps such as FaceTime and Skype making it possible to connect instantly with friends and family anywhere in the world. Secondly, we're no longer limited by the amount of people we can reach. Technology that was once considered cutting edge can be utilised by both young and old to reach not just individuals, but also whole communities or even countries at the click of a button. Take, for example, organising a holiday with friends. Keeping in contact, booking flights, organising accommodation is now as easy as pie. On a larger scale, new technologies can be used to reach and influence larger audiences, organising large-scale demonstrations and even in some cases revolutions, such as the Egyptian Revolution. Although there are some positives, I firmly believe that new technology has had a negative impact on our social relationships. Take social media, for example. It's well documented that these platforms are addictive and promote behaviour that I would consider dangerous. In addition, people aren't having meaningful conversations anymore. They're rather focused on their devices, obsessed with their online popularity, which only serves to promote use of these platforms further. It really is a vicious circle. Another negative aspect is bullying, specifically cyberbullying. The internet allows users to interact with each other with very little consequence when it comes to promoting hate or leaving nasty comments on an Instagram post, for example. What's more, new technology provides a level of anonymity whereby people can hide behind their keyboards and post content that they wouldn't have dreamt of saying to someone's face. Cyberbullying is only the tip of the iceberg, with studies showing that suicide rates have increased dramatically in the younger generation. From my perspective, I believe that it is increased pressure from these applications that is creating a generation who are unhappy, depressed, and filled with unrealistic levels of perfection. In conclusion, I feel that advances in technology mean that we are more connected than our ancestors could have ever dreamed of, being able to instantly connect with anyone from anywhere in the world. In my opinion, however, it is not all sunshine and rainbows, as technology brings with it new pressures which can actually have the opposite effect, destroying social interactions and even causing some people to end their lives. I hope that the future sees greater improvements in technologies aimed at increasing meaningful social interactions, but also I strongly feel that people need to understand the risks of such technology and the potentially harmful consequences. Thank you very much. So there we have my approach to the monologue, guys, and I hope you liked it. Now I'm going to analyse some of the language that I used and explain it in a little more detail. If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe for more great content in the future. I like to say to my students to avoid the old I think and use phrases such as I strongly believe. In this monologue, we can see that I use the phrase I can say without hesitation. And this is just another great way to say that you feel strongly about something. I also use the phrase what's more, which is a nice colloquial way to add something interesting to what you have just said. The internet allows users to interact with each other with very little consequence when it comes to promoting hate or leaving nasty comments on an Instagram post, for example. What's more, new technology provides a level of anonymity whereby people can hide behind their keyboards and post content that they wouldn't have dreamt of saying to someone's face. Not only, but also. Now, here's another structure that I would encourage you start practicing, and it will show the examiner you're comfortable using suitable grammar structures. If you want to find out a bit more about not only but also, I've actually done a video on it and I will link it somewhere up here. So I used a few phrases in the monologue that I would like to also talk about in a little more detail. So first up we had cutting edge. So cutting edge is an adjective which means very modern. For example, the doctors used cutting edge technology for the operation. Click of a button. And this can also be touch of a button. So this means when something is done easily, and it's often used when we're talking about doing something on the computer. For example, I could say, he orders shopping at the touch of a button. In other words, he orders shopping without effort or very easily. Next up, I use the idiom as easy as pie. Now, as easy as pie simply means very easy. So for example, we could say something like, ordering the tickets online was as easy as pie. So here we're saying that ordering the tickets was very easy. I also used the noun a vicious circle, which means when something doesn't have an end or something that repeats. Often we use it to talk about a process of repeating events in which one problem causes another problem. Let's have a look what I said in the monologue to make it a bit clearer. It's well documented that these platforms are addictive and promote behaviour that I would consider dangerous. In addition, people aren't having meaningful conversations anymore. They're rather focused on their devices, obsessed with their online popularity, which only serves to promote use of these platforms further. It really is a vicious circle. So here I'm saying that social media platforms often put pressure on people to strive for perfection, and this often results in more time spent on social media, which creates more problems. It's like a never-ending circle of problems. Next up, I use the idiom the tip of the iceberg. So we use this idiom when we have a small and noticeable part of a problem, but the bigger problem is hidden or is not known about and is under the surface. And this is where we have this image of just the tip of the iceberg or the top of the iceberg. So if we can imagine that the small problem is the tip of the iceberg, then the bigger problem is under the water, and that's what we don't see. Let's take a look at what I said in the monologue to help us. Cyberbullying is only the tip of the iceberg, with studies showing that suicide rates have increased dramatically in the younger generation. From my perspective, I believe that it is increased pressure from these applications that is creating a generation who are unhappy, depressed, and filled with unrealistic levels of perfection. So there we are, guys, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any comments or suggestions, please let me know down in the comment section below. Also, guys, feel free to check out my playlist where I have other monologues that will be very useful if you're studying for the Escuela Oficial de Idiomas exam. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you